Welcome to Room 44, where every shadow hides a memory, and every memory might not be yours. This is the story of what happens when the past refuses to stay buried, and the home you return to isn't waiting to comfort you. It's waiting to consume you. I always thought something was off about Evan. Not broken, just a little off. He was my younger brother by 4 years, and he had always been obsessed with darkness. Ghost stories, conspiracy threads, horror films, and anything he wasn't supposed to look into. Where I kept my head down and stayed logical, Evan leaned into the unknown like it was his inheritance. So when he called me out of the blue and asked if I wanted to go camping with him one weekend, I was suspicious. One last trip, he'd said, before everything changes. I assumed it was just his flair for drama again. Maybe he got dumped. Maybe he lost another job. But something in his voice unsettled me. He sounded excited, but beneath that, something else. Like he knew I wouldn't be coming back the same. Ash Pines Lake was deep in the woods, way off the grid. The moment I stepped out of my car and into the clearing where we'd pitch our tent, I felt it, a pressure in the air, like the forest itself was holding its breath. Evan was already there, building the fire with a grin like a child at Halloween. "You feel it?" he asked, like he'd been waiting for me to say something. "I feel something," I said cautiously. He just laughed and tossed me a beer. "You know that place is ours, right?" He pointed across the lake where a crumbling 2-story house sat buried in shadow. "What is that, an old ranger station?" I asked, trying to sound indifferent. He smirked. "That's the Whitaker house, our house. Great-granddad built it. Grandma lived there before the fire. Didn't Mom ever tell you?" I froze. "No, she told me to stay away from Ash Pines." "Exactly," he said, "but the blood remembers." That night by the fire he told me stories about Grandma's screams, about voices in the trees, about a brother she claimed crawled out of the lake speaking in someone else's voice, about how no one in our family ever stayed sane after visiting that place. I laughed nervously. Evan didn't. Later, after the fire burned low, I woke up to silence. Evan was gone, his sleeping bag empty, the tent flap open. I stumbled out and called his name. No response. Only moonlight over the lake, and something worse. Footprints. Bare, human, leading into the woods, toward the house. I followed them. The air grew thick as I approached, cold without wind, still without peace. The house looked newer, restored somehow. The porch didn't creak. The front door was already open. Inside, the walls were black with soot, but beneath it I saw carvings, symbols, names, dates. Whitaker repeated over and over like someone trying to remember who they were, or forget. A broken mirror in the hallway reflected a boy. He looked like me as a child, but he didn't blink. I climbed the stairs. They bent slightly, as if the house didn't want me walking straight. Every door was ajar. From one room I heard humming, off-key, childlike. I pushed it open. A nursery, crib half melted, toys charred. Evan stood in the center. He didn't turn when I said his name. "I remember this room," he whispered. I froze. "You've never been here." He turned. His face was wrong, eyes too wide, smile too still. "I was born here." Then the room screamed. Not Evan. Not a ghost. The room. The walls shook. The drawings peeled themselves from the wallpaper and twisted into faces. I ran. The hallway changed. Doors led to more doors. Rooms repeated like bad code. Then, one door opened into a dining room. A family sat around a long table. Their heads were covered in napkins like execution hoods. One figure raised its head. My grandfather, younger than I'd ever seen him, bleeding from the eyes. "You brought him back," he said. "You were warned," the others chanted. The walls folded in. The table melted into ash. I fell, down through smoke and shadow and memories I didn't own. You're listening to Room 44, where time bends, memory lies, and nothing is as it seems. If you're feeling the chill down your spine, hit that subscribe button, give us a like, and share this tale with your bravest friends. Now let's return to the horror. I woke up in my bed, back in the city, at home. Or so I thought. Everything looked normal. The hallway, the kitchen, the light switch. But the mirror? It blinked again, one beat too late. That same puppet delay. And that's when I knew I hadn't escaped. I'd been released. The house was with me now. It started small. A window pane catching a reflection of the nursery. My bathroom mirror showing the hallway from ash pines. I started waking with mud on my hands. Pine needles in the shower, drawings on the wall. Stick figures, one with no face. I turned on the TV to distract myself. The news was reporting something strange. A house, the anchor said, appeared overnight in the center of Camden. No foundation, no permit, no explanation. I looked up. It was the Whitaker house. Not in the woods anymore. Now in the city, it had followed me. They showed aerial footage. Behind one window, a figure watched. Evan, smiling. I drove straight there. They'd roped it off with police tape. Called it an art installation. A publicity stunt. But I knew the truth. I crossed the barrier and stepped through the door before anyone could stop me. Inside, the walls welcomed me. Back again, they whispered. I found a man sitting in the study, older but familiar. He turned. It was me, one version anyway. You always come back, he said. What is this place, I asked. He gestured around. It's memory. It's inheritance. It's the house your family built on secrets and silence. And now it wants to live. He handed me a photo of Evan and me, both children. Only I hadn't looked like that since college. I looked down at my own hands. Wrong, too thin, too pale. You're unraveling, he said. I ran again. Doors screamed. The nursery waited. This time I saw Grandma, young, vibrant, and crying. They lied, she said. They said the fire was an accident, but we summoned something. It never left. What do? I begged. She pointed to the floor. Beneath me, a blackened hole began opening. From within, voices, hundreds, all mine, all versions of me that came before. I screamed and woke up in bed. But this time, the house didn't wait for nightfall. A new door had appeared in my apartment. Freestanding, black wood, no handle. The exact one from the nursery. It hums when I'm near it. And when I sleep, I wake up with a rusted key in my hand. The name Whitaker etched on its spine. I've stopped running, because I think the only way to end this is to finally open the door. Thank you for listening to Room 44. If you made it this far, then you're part of the story now. Some doors, once opened, never close. Subscribe to hear what's waiting behind the next one, if you dare.